Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits, and welcome to my FlossTube. I am probably going to keep this a bit short. I do have a lot of notes from this fortnight, but as you may or may not be able to hear, I've kind of lost my voice and my throat's quite sore. So let's see how we go and let's get started. Glasses are gross. That's better. Ta-da! So I'm gonna have a lot of coughing that I have to edit out of this video, most likely. Why is that doing that? My light is like flickering brightness and stuff. I might have to turn it off, which will mess up my lighting, but we'll see how we go. Let's do that to begin with, and let's turn that off. Oh my gosh, everything is happening and I'm not keeping up. So I'm going to dive right into finished pieces because I actually have two. Unfortunately, I can't show you one of them because the recipient of this piece I know watches my FlossTube. So I wanted to at least make mention that I have a piece that is finished that you haven't seen as a work in progress because I've actually started it since the last FlossTube and completely finished it in the last 2 weeks. I have a piece that's done and I will be sharing it later on in the year. I'm going to be writing myself a note. I haven't figured out where I'm going to write it because if I do a post-it note, it'll get lost. If I do a task in Notion, it might get buried and sort of forgotten about. So I'm trying to figure out before it gets gifted where to write this note. So that's a whole thing. But anyway, the other piece is also a gift and also a piece that I started since the last FlossTube, but I am pretty sure that the recipient does not watch my FlossTube, and that's my husband. And this is the piece here. So to explain why I made this, it's our anniversary on, hang on, I'm gonna, maybe that'll be a little bit better, and then I might be able to turn that off. Let's go like that. Okay, anyway, excuse me, what was I saying? Yeah, it's our anniversary on the 3rd of August. I have been making him little cross stitches for gifts a bit more frequently lately, and I've had this pattern from StitchBucket, who I don't know if they're still around or not, because I got this pattern back in like, I want to say 2015. Like, I got it back before I really started stitching again. So even like before we moved to America kind of thing. I've had a bunch of patterns from StitchBucket for a long time, and with the intent of making these for my husband. So yeah, there's this piece here, which is Han and Leia from Star Wars, and they've got little mobile phones and it says love you and I know. So if you've seen Star Wars, then you'll understand the meaning behind that. But yeah, I think it's very cute and it's all done. I just need to frame it and get a piece for the back. And I'm thinking I will put one of my little label things on the back. I'll show you them because I haven't shown them for a while. So I got these from Ever Emblem. I got 2 different sizes. I got the stitch-on ones because I like how labels look when they've been sewn on, rather than just ironed on. So I got these little ones, which are very cute for my ornaments and just little pieces in general. And I definitely prefer these ones because it actually says twolittlekits.com, like it's got my website address. So there's that one, and then I've got my logo as the other one, which oftentimes I will actually cut off some of the white space just because I don't like how much white space there is on the top and bottom compared to the sides. But I don't do that every time. And these ones go on bigger pieces. Like I don't put these on an ornament, for example, because it kind of takes up the whole of the back and just looks a bit silly. And I don't have as many of them. Like I think I got I think I got 50 of those ones, the big ones, and I got, I think, 250 of the small ones. So anyway, so those are a bit fiddly to do, but I definitely think that they're worth the time I put into sewing them onto the back. So I'll find a nice piece of fabric that kind of matches this theme. I don't have anything that's kind of nerdy like for fabric, which is fine. I'll just probably do like a plaid or as my backup, but I'll see what I've got. Like I've got a little fabric stash, just a little one. So we'll have a look. And yeah, I'll sew one of those onto the back and put it in a hoop. It's gonna go probably in a 5-inch hoop. So it's got a little bit of space to breathe, but yeah. So that'll be gifted before my next floss tube. And I really wish, because I've got it right here, I really wish I could show you this other finished piece that I have, but it's gonna have to wait until later in the year. So that's my finished pieces. I was trying to figure out a way that I could like show you the other finished piece, but just kind of like blur it out and I don't know, prove to myself that it's done, or I don't know, who cares, whatever. Oh, my throat is not happy with what I'm doing right now. Anyway, let's keep going, let's keep trucking along. I'm gonna bring up my notes. So we've done finished pieces. I want to move on to works in progress because it feels like a natural progression. The first work in progress is a piece that I've started since the last floss tube. Hopefully it is a little bit ambiguous and doesn't give away too much, because I'm not going to talk about, I don't want to talk about it too much in depth just yet. But I have this piece here. Yeah, this is just a really quick stitch. Like it's, I probably have only put 2 hours tops, not even, probably an hour and a half tops into this. And this is the rest of this fabric that I wasn't sure what I would use for. That's the other part of the brain that I messed up. If you remember my neurospicy brain, where I was stitching the test pattern and I stitched it 10 squares too low. And I didn't know what to do with this, so I've still got it. But it's the same fabric, which I think, given what it is, it really suits it. So yeah, there's that. And it's got my little Zelda needle minder. This is from Ginger Stitch AU, which I highly recommend you look up their Etsy or their Amazon websites, depending on where you live. If you live in Australia, because they are an Australian company, if you shop on their Etsy site, then you'll get good shipping. But their Amazon site is probably better if you're in the States. So yeah, I recommend you look up their needle minders because they've got lots of really cool ones. So there's that work in progress. Next work in progress is my aquarium piece, which last week I caught up. The final hour, it was Thursday evening, and I put the last stitches into that week's exhibit. I didn't catch up this time, unfortunately, but I'm really close. But the next exhibit, which I believe is exhibit 9, I think, came out today. So the stingray here and here is what I'm working on, and the greenery down the bottom, that's what I'm currently stitching, finishing up the greens in there now. And then I've got the white, so all the little dots that you see there, and the big wing here and the little dots there, all of that is white, and that's all I've got left. So that the last green and white for last week's exhibit, and then this week's exhibit is a big shark with little like filter feeder fish around it, and then a barracuda fish along here. So it's a pretty big one, and next week there's no exhibit, so there's lots of time to catch up, which is good. So that's how I'm going with that, which is very cool. And I knew I was coming with this one. I think I may have mentioned it in my last floss tube. This was a gap here when it was this fish down here in the dark and the anglerfish and sort of the cave, there was this big hole where the vampire squid was going to be, and I'm like, I know what that's going to be. That looks like a vampire squid silhouette to me, and I was right. So I felt very clever. Oh, and I haven't shown it for a while, but here's the back, which is pretty neat. That's what I do. I do neat backs, but all that back stitching is for the coral has made it really thick. Like it's just really, it doesn't want to bend where the back stitching was, or is, sorry. The next work in progress is my car project, which is Village of the Valley. I am still working on brown, but I'm getting ever closer. I'm currently working on the library down here, and I think there's just like a couple of tree stumps or tree trunks, that's the word, that I've got to do in the same brown, and then I'm done with brown. It's been like 3 months of this brown. So I'll be able to move on to the next color. What's the next color? Let's have a look. The next color is green. That'll be good. But I'm gonna quickly look on this page. Okay, there's a little house that's in that brown, another little house in that brown, but not as much of it, a couple of tree trunks. That's sort of it, which is, it's really close, basically. I should be doing green next floss tube. Fingers crossed for me. So I'll hold this up again. So that's my Village of the Valley. This one is Flossy Fox Shop as the designer. If you aren't aware, the aquarium that I just showed is Lola cross stitch as the designer. And I kind of don't want to tell you the designer of the first work in progress I showed, because that would give away stuff. So sorry, I don't know what else to say. But there's this one, and my last work in progress has been a bit neglected. It's my flower field. I'm 3 days behind currently, but I had to do, yesterday I did a bunch of catching up. I'd stitched 5 flowers because I was an entire week behind, because I've been sick, because things have been happening in my family, because of summer holidays. Yeah, so I've not had the inclination to stitch this each day. But it got to the point where I was like, I was starting to feel really guilty that I hadn't done any flowers. So I sat down, it was like an hour of stitching and just interruptions constantly from my kids, of course. And I managed to crank out the last 5 flowers, which would have been, let's have a look. So the 19th to the 23rd. It was those flowers. But yeah, I'm hoping to do the remaining 3 today, fingers crossed, so that I can be caught up again, and then maybe hopefully can get back into stitching it once a day. And I feel like I need to set myself a task at a specific time of day, maybe doing it like while I'm eating breakfast or something like that. I don't know. I think that might help me to do it each day. I didn't post the flowers on my stories yesterday when I did 5 of them. It just felt a bit silly to do that. So my hope is once I've caught up today that I can go back to posting them on my stories each day. So yeah, you can look forward to those when that happens again. Because some people seem to really like seeing those come up in my stories each day. My brain keeps trying to tell me that no one's interested, no one cares. Who cares about that? No one cares about seeing your little flower that you stitched in a day. But I've had people, oh hi Milo, he just opened the door. I've had people comment on the fact that they enjoy seeing my flower pop up each day. You want to cuddle? Come on, don't hit your head. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're a big boy. Okay. So yeah, anyway, that's my works in progress. And this is Milo. He hasn't been on my video for a while. Actually, no, that's not true. Technically, he was in the last FlossTube, but not on camera. He came in and visited and talked to me. Are you gonna get down now? Oh gosh, you're molting like crazy. Oh my gosh, he's leaving fur everywhere. Hi. All right, that's works in progress. I wanted to talk about Two Little Kit stuff, just, you know, related to Two Little Kits and stitching and things like that. So the first thing is I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is that I did not release any new merch design this month. I had every intention on releasing some stickers this month, but I didn't. The month just completely got away from me. And then once I sort of had the time to sit down and get it ready to release, it was already like the second half of July, and it just felt really dumb to do it at that point, I guess. And like, oh, see ya. And just like, let's just leave it until August, basically. Because it's summer holidays, it's chaos at the moment. And if there were any issues with the release, it would have been harder to stay on top of it and fix anything that came up, basically. So yeah, I decided to wait until August. That means that I should have something exciting to share for next FlossTube, because today is the 26th. Can you believe it, by the way? Can you believe that it's less than a week until August? I certainly can't. Just a, what's the word? Teaser, that's the word. A teaser for next week that I have plans, and I'm hoping to sit down either at this computer or my laptop downstairs and get everything prepared. Actually get it prepared this time. I do need to sit here and for some of the preparation because I need to make a video. So that'll be exciting. But I'm being very vague, I apologize. Just know that stuff's happening next week. Fingers crossed, excuse me, fingers crossed that it's next week. It could be the week after, like around the FlossTube time. Great, now I've got the hiccups. Yeah, that's all I have to say to that. I don't have any content blog posts up currently on my website, but I do have a new stitch that's on the site to help beginners that are new to hand embroidery. It's the chain stitch, not the cross stitch. I do have plans to do to expand on the 101 how to cross stitch thing that I had going like 4 years ago of how to cross stitch. I plan on, when the kids go back to school, expanding that a bit and yeah, making it even more useful. So keep an eye out for that. But anyway, there's a chain stitch on the website. I recommend you check it out. It's a really cute stitch. I think it's adorable. And eventually I'll get around to doing the reverse chain stitch because it is technically a different stitch. I personally prefer the reverse chain stitch, but each to their own. They look the same, but it's just done completely different. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of cross-stitch pattern designing. I don't have anything I can share really just yet. I'm planning on making a piece that's similar to my store-bought pattern, which I've got up here actually. I can show you. This is the store-bought cross-stitch pattern. So I'm planning on making this into sort of a series of sorts. And I've been working on the next one, which yeah, like I said, it doesn't have a lot to show you that I can show you just yet, but it's hopefully going to be cute as well. So that's store-bought. This is available on my website if you want to go and get it. And it comes in 3 different color options with the flowers. It comes in pink, it comes in blue and purple, which I've stitched all 3 of because, backstory, when I was designing this, I had someone reach out to me and say that they wanted a serotonin chemical, like molecule piece to gift to their friend. I'm like, that's perfect. I'm literally working on a design for that. And so I showed her what I had, and because it was almost done as well, the actual design process. And she's like, oh my God, it's perfect. Can you do one for me as well? But can you do them in different colors for the flowers? If you haven't noticed, I really like doing pink flowers for some reason. So I always wanted to do pink version, but she didn't want pink. She wanted blue and purple. So I'm like, cool. I got to do one of each. I can't get it up. I have to move. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so I've been doing pattern designing, basically. And one of them is a series piece that's gonna look similar to that. I know that I've worked on another one. I cannot remember what it was. I was working on it on my laptop. So the open the recent file thing is the one down there. So I can't just look on my recent open files because it's not on this one. But anyway, the last thing that is Twolittlekits related is we got a new printer, which is amazing. Our old printer was awful. It wouldn't calibrate properly anymore. And there were like chunky bands. There was like at least 2 bands sort of like there and there, if that makes sense, where it was not printing correctly, basically. It was like everything was really blurry in those 2 bands. And it didn't matter what I did, I just could not get it to work properly. It worked well enough for me to print my patterns and for us to print like documents that we had to sign, because you could still read the words. It just didn't look very professional, basically. So I've been keeping an eye on a bunch of printers that I've liked. I'm gonna close the door. Okay. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, I've been keeping an eye on a bunch of printers that I've read are really good for printing high quality images. And one of them went on sale recently. And I mean, it was still quite expensive for that kind of thing, but it was much cheaper than what it usually was. So my husband and I were like, okay, well, we need a new printer, because our printer was kind of pooping itself all the time. It just would stop printing and saying that there was a reboot error or something like that. And you just couldn't print until it decided that it would allow you again. You had to reboot it, and I don't know. Anyway, so we were due a new printer, but we got this one. It's awesome. And it means it's kind of given me the drive to finally get my Cricut that I got earlier this year for Mother's Day and figured out how to use it, because I've been so scared to learn how to use this cutting machine. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can't, I'm afraid to mess it up, and that's so silly. But anyway, I have been asked by my daughter to make stickers. Like, she wants to make stickers. And so I use that as an opportunity to learn how to first print onto sticker paper with this new printer, but then take that and cut it into like sticker sheets or die cut stickers and all that kind of stuff. So I messed up to begin with, because I didn't realize that Cricut would give me a specific printable file to take for the machine itself. But we made this. So this is my daughter's designs. She drew everything, and I scanned it in and then edited it in Photoshop, because there were some things that she didn't want to put onto the sheet that she'd already drawn. And she did the drawings like crazy sizes, and I was like, let's turn it into a proper sticker sheet, and like fix it basically. But this is the sheet that she made, and so this is not a kiss cut, unfortunately, because I did this wrong. But she can still like take this and cut with scissors the stickers out, so that's cool. But so that was the first mistake. And then I couldn't figure out how to print it so that it would do a full cut through to do like, you know, the smaller sheet size rather than the full letterhead size, and then kiss cut each of them. And then I realized I could just use my guillotine to cut them down to size. But yeah, so the second trial was a complete flop. It didn't cut the shapes out for all the stickers correctly. Anyway, I'm learning is my point, and I'm hoping to maybe remove my stickers from being done on Printful and actually bring them home and do them at home. That would be amazing. I would love to have just like a little stock of stickers. I don't know, because that wouldn't take up much space. I feel like that would be cool to have. And you can stick stickers in an envelope to send them off that way, which is, you know, saves so much on shipping and things like that. So I have been busy. I've been trying to get things working, and hopefully I can continue trial and erroring and figure out and like get a final file that I can, that in the Cricut software, that I can then pull up every now and then and print off some stickers and send them out. That would be cool. So yeah, that's all the Two Little Kits stuff that I have to talk about. I have a couple of things that's been going on IRL, which let's chat about. The first thing is I've been sick, as you can hear. It crept up on me, and then suddenly, like the next day I woke up, no, it crept up on me, and then one day, I think it was Tuesday this week, by the end of the day I was like, my voice is really crackly, and then the next day I woke up and I had no voice, just zero voice. And it's only started coming back today, but I'm coughing a lot today, so that's not fun. But yeah, so I've been sick. I was supposed to donate blood today, but I can't because I'm sick. So I have to figure out when I can do that next, because I don't know if their system will recognize that I didn't go in to donate, and otherwise I'll have to wait another 2 months. So I'll find that out. It kind of, like before I got sick, my youngest brought it home, probably from the sleepover that she had, where because she kind of got sick around that time. And yeah, so that's the only place I can think of where she got sick, and she was the one that was sick first. And the only other thing really is that my foot is still messed up, and I'm so sick of it. I have an appointment with my doctor next week to get an x-ray and talk about next steps. I'm like 95% sure that I will be having another surgery. I don't know if it'll be one that I get put to sleep for again. I kind of hope so, because of what they would be doing. I don't want to be awake for that. But obviously being put under puts a lot more complications medically on me and on them, because they've got to have the anesthesiologist there to make sure that I'm okay. But anyway, I have to get the screws taken out and then heal up from that, pretty much. I'm just so sick of this. I'm having to miss out on the cycle of martial arts that I really wanted to do, which was the bow staff, because I wanted to learn that. It looks fun, it looks cool in my opinion. Yeah, I'm really disappointed and upset and frustrated at the whole situation. There's nothing I can do about it now except advocate for getting the screws out, because I literally can't wear my regular shoes. Every time I step in them, I can feel the screw pressing on the inside of my skin and trying to move the bone in a weird way, and I can't live like that. So yeah, fingers crossed for me that I can get this resolved soon. That'd be nice. That's pretty much all that's been happening. That like my eldest daughter finished summer school and we got our hot tub cleaned, and so the girls have been hanging out in the hot tub a bunch. I went in yesterday and it was like so boring. We're not comfortable enough with them being in the water alone, so I either have to sit outside and just watch them from there or go in and be bored. But at least like I'm in the hot tub and it's warm and comfortable, and yesterday was a good day to do it because it was actually quite cold for a summer day. It was still hot-ish, but it was cold, so being in the hot tub was nice. I did have to get out at one point to do something, I can't remember, and I got back in, I was just like, oh, that's better. But anyway, not much else has been going on just because we've been sick and I'm still in my boot, and yeah, so that's it. And with saying that, I'm gonna leave it there because I can hear that my kids are getting rowdy. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate if you can like and subscribe to my channel. That would be really helpful and super awesome of you to do. And until next time, I'll see you around the internet. Bye.